Good day, grade 8 students. Here is our video tutorial for the fourth summative exam. So the coverage for this exam or for this test is we have week 1, undefined terms, week 2, mathematical system. Under the mathematical system, we have defined terms, properties, postulates, and theorems. While on the week 3, we have the conditions for triangle congruence. So those are the corresponding parts of a congruent triangles. So today, we will be having our discussion for the review B. Let's have the first part, which is the multiple choice. And here is the first question. It is a set of structures designed to provide order and procedural operation in a certain discipline. So we have four options here: mathematical system, undefined terms, axioms, and axiomatic structure. So what do you think uh, is a set of structures? So when I say a set, that is composed of two or more elements, right? So in this part, it says that the structures that we are talking about are the undefined terms, defined terms, properties of congruence, theorems, and postulates. So among the four options, what do you think is the correct answer? So the correct answer is mathematical system. Like what I've said, a mathematical system, we have the undefined terms, defined terms, properties, and postulates. Wherein we use those system or we use those structures to have the proving, to prove a certain problem given uh in our discussion or in our lesson. Okay, so the correct answer in this item is mathematical system. Next, how about this one? It is a mathematical statement that serves as an entry statement in deriving other logical derived statements. So our keyword here is entry statement. Okay? So based on the discussions that we had in our proving, what do you think is the entry statement in our statements or in our proving? So the correct answer is axioms. So we have the axioms. And then if we are talking about the set of axioms, that's the time that we will answer axiomatic structure. Okay. But if we have this definition, entry statement, okay, it is just an axioms. But if the question is about set of axioms, that is axiomatic structure, or also what we call axiomatic system. Okay. Next, let's have the undefined terms. So we have three undefined terms: point, line, and plane. And then on the other column, we have the definitions. The first one is presented by a flat surface where infinite number of lines can be lie. As you can see, we have the keyword here, flat surface. Okay? So among the three undefined terms, the correct answer is plane. So the correct answer, we have, let's draw a line. We have plane. Okay, so a plane is presented by a flat surface. Next, number um, letter color green, viewed as something that has a specific position but without dimension, magnitude, or direction. So wala siyang weight, wala siyang height. It is just it has just a specific position without dimension, any dimension. Okay, so the correct answer for this item is we have a point. Okay. How about the number three or letter the blue one? So we have one-dimensional figure composed of infinite number of points. So since we have here a line, so the correct answer is line. What you have to remember about a line, it is composed of infinite number of points. So without a point, there is no line, and without a line, there is no plane. So we have the point, line, and plane. Right? Is that clear? And so we have the undefined terms. Next, how about next slide? How about this item? We have it is a statement which is accepted as true without a proof. Yan. So what do you think is the statement among these four? We have theorem, postulate, lemma, and corollary. So you can choose between the two, theorem or postulate. So what do you think? You can accept that statement even without a proving. So the correct answer, keyword is without a proof, postulate. So a postulate, that is a statement that accepted as true even without any proof. Okay? Automatically that is true. How about a statement that can be proven? Okay? We can prove that the given statement is true. So the correct answer for this item is theorem. Okay, theorem can be proven. Okay, it is a statement that can be proven. How about the kinds of theorem? So we have two kinds of theorem. As you can see, we have lemma and corollary. Okay, so it is a theorem that is direct consequence of another theorem. We have the keyword direct consequence of another theorem. So the correct answer is corollary. Okay, that is what we call corollary. And then the next one, how about the theorem that used as a stepping stone to prove later the others? Okay, so what do you think is the theorem, or what we call the theorem that we use to prove another theorem? Okay, so we use this one as part of the proving partial statement natin or the reason natin to prove other one. Okay? So, in this item, we have lemma. Okay? We use lemma, or you can, the keyword here is stepping stone. We use lemma, that is a theorem, or it is part of the proving. Okay? To prove another theorem, or to prove another statement. Okay? Next. Ayan. If the two figures have exactly the same size and shape, then blank. What can you conclude if we have the two figures and then they have exactly same size and same shape rather, same size and same shape. Okay, the first option is the figures are similar. Okay, remember class, if we are talking about similar, it only indicates that they have the same shape. Again, if we are saying similar, they only have the same shape. How about equal? If the two figures are equal, they only have the same size or same measurement. And then if the two figures are congruent, and that will be the correct answer, it it only implies that the two figures have the same size, exactly the same size and shape. And shape. Okay? Again, if the two figures have exactly the same size and shape, therefore, the two figures are congruent. Okay? Next. How about what we call betweenness? So let's proceed with the defined terms. So we are done with the undefined terms. Let's have the defined terms, or the definition of terms in geometry. Actually, class, we have 13 definitions, 7 7 theorems, 6 properties of postulates, and then 3 postulates. Okay? But I will discuss some definitions of geometry. Yung iba lang po, hindi ko lalahatin ng 13. And then some of the postulates and also some of the theorems. Okay? But you have the copy of your handouts, and I already discussed that one during our week 2 and latter part of week 3. Okay? Now let's have the betweenness. What is betweenness? Let's have an illustration to recall the betweenness. Okay? Let's say we have a line. Okay, let me draw a line. So given this line segment, let's say this is line segment AB. Okay? Say we have a line segment AB. And there is a point between these two segments. Let's say we have point, let's say we have point C. Okay? So as you can see, point C is between segment A and B. It only implies that when you add the two parts, which are the segment AC plus segment CB, the answer will be the segment AB. Okay, that is what we call betweenness. Let's have an example. For example, segment AC measures 3 centimeter, and segment CB measures 10 centimeter. And you are asked to find the value of segment AB. So what you have to do is just to substitute. The value of AC is 3 centimeters, and then the value of segment CB is 10 centimeters. Then to find the value of segment AB, just add 3 plus 10, so you have 13. So segment AB is equal to 13 centimeters. And that is the betweenness. Okay? Next, how about the next slide? Yan, how about midpoint? Balikan natin si betweenness. Okay? Just to see what is the difference between the two. Yan. So we have the midpoint here, and then let's have the betweenness. let me draw a line segment again. Let's say this is our line segment AB. We have a line segment AB. And then, in the line segment AB, there is a point in the center of a line segment. So let's say we have C. Okay? So as you can see, assume that point C is the midpoint of segment AB. Since it is in the midpoint or in the center, okay, midpoint tayo, we can conclude that segment AC is congruent to segment CB. Since a midpoint, when I say a midpoint, it is a point that divides the line into two equal parts. So let's have an example. For example, this is 5 centimeter, and segment AC is 5 centimeters, and segment CB is also 5 centimeters. Therefore, C is the midpoint of the segment AB, since they have the same measure of the segments. And then if you ask to find the segment AB, just add the two parts, so you have 10 centimeters. So what is the difference between midpoint and betweenness? In betweenness, the point is just between the segments, okay, or the 2 points. It is just between the 2 points, while a midpoint is in the center. Sabihin po dapat nasa gitna, center of the segment, okay, and it divides the line into 2 equal parts when we say midpoint. Okay, next, let me clear my drawings. How about complementary angles? So when we say complementary angles, when we add the two given angles, the sum is equal to 90 degrees. Let's say we have the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B, so the sum must be 90 degrees. Okay, that is complementary angles. And then we have supplementary angles. When you add the two angles, the sum will be equal to 180 degrees. Okay, let's say the measure of angle A is let's say it is let's say 50 degrees, and then you have to find the value of measure of angle AB. You have to find the measure of angle B. So since the sum should be 90, then subtract. Therefore, the measure of angle B is 40. 50 plus 40, you have 90. For example, in supplementary, let's say you have 75 degrees in measure of angle A, and then you have to find the measure of angle B. Just subtract. So you have 180 minus 75, you have 105 degrees. Okay? Therefore, they are supplementary angles. If the measure of the two angles are equal to 90 degrees, that is complementary angles. And then if the sum of the two angles is equal to 180, that is supplementary angles. Okay? Next. How about the kinds of angle? We have the 3 kinds of angle: acute angle, right angle, and obtuse angle. Actually, we also have the straight angle, which is exactly 180 degrees. Now, let's match the column A to column B. Yan. So we have acute angle. When we say acute angle, it is an angle that measures greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. Okay, again, greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. For example, we have 75 degrees measure of an angle, 45 degrees, 50 degrees, yan. Basta the range is 0 to 90 degrees. How about right angle? Right angle, that is exactly 90 degrees. Okay? And then obtuse angle, we have greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. What if we have exactly 180 degrees? And that will be straight angle. Okay, straight lang po, linya lang. Okay? So acute, right, obtuse, acute, greater than 0 but less than 90. Right measures 90 degrees exactly. And then obtuse, we have greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. Okay, next. How about the properties of congruence? Okay, let's discuss some of the properties of congruence. As I remember, we have 6 properties of congruence: APE, addition property of equality; MPE, multiplication property of equality; reflexive, transitive, symmetric, and substitution property of equality. But this time, let me discuss the three: reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Let's have first the reflexive property of equality. It's like a mirror, like what I discussed to you. Let's say we have A is equal to A. That is reflexive property of equality. Measure of angle B is equal to measure of angle B. That is reflexive. Segment AB is congruent to segment AB. That is reflexive property of equality. A number, an angle, a line, or a segment is equal to itself. Reflexive property. How about symmetric property of equality? In symmetric property of equality, we are talking about the position. Even you change the position, it is still the same. For example, A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. Wala pong mababago. For example, X is equal to 3, 3 is equal to X. Wala pong mababago. For another example, measure of angle A is equal to measure of angle B. Change the position, still we have measure of angle B is equal to measure of angle A. That is symmetric. Next, how about transitive? Transitive property of equality. Let's say we have three variables. A is equal to C and C is equal to B. Therefore, you can conclude that A is equal to B. Okay, that is transitive. Let's have the values. Let's say segment AB. Yes, let's say this is segment AB is equal to or is congruent to segment CD, and segment CD is congruent to segment EF. So you can conclude that segment AB is congruent to segment EF. Okay? This is for the segments. Let's have the measurements. Let's say measure of angle A is equal to 30 degrees, and then measure of angle B is also equal to 30 degrees. Therefore, you can conclude that measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle B. That is transitive property of equality. So we have reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Okay? Next. Let's have the problem solving. In this problem solving, simple lang siya. We have the given figure. Let's have first the corresponding parts. Given the triangle, we have a triangle RLG is congruent to triangle DQC. Okay? We have these two triangles. And first, we have to find the corresponding vertices. Okay? Like what I've said, if we have two separated triangles, we can use only one letter. And then, pag magkadikit po, you may use 3 letters. Okay? Since magkaiwalay naman po yung triangles natin, we can have a 1 letter. Okay? So, we have triangle RLG. RLG is congruent to triangle DQC. So, the first corresponding angles, we have angle R. Yan, we have angle R corresponds to angle D. So, we have angle R corresponds to angle D. Another one, another pair, we have angle L. Angle L corresponds to angle Q. Corresponds to angle Q. Then last one, we have angle G. Angle G corresponds to angle D. Corresponds to angle D. Okay? Since based on the definition of congruent triangles and CPCTC, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Since it says that the two triangles are congruent, we can conclude that angle R is congruent to angle D, angle L is congruent to angle Q, and angle G is congruent to angle C. So these are the corresponding angles. How about the corresponding sides? Okay, so we are talking about the segment. Palit tayo ng color ng pen. We are talking about the segment. So we have segment RL rather. Let's have segment RL corresponds to segment DQ. Segment DQ. And then we have segment RG. Segment RG corresponds to segment DC. Segment DC. Then we can also have segment LG. Segment LG corresponds to segment, and let's use 3 lines. Segment LG corresponds to segment QC. Segment QC. And then like what I've said in CPCTC, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So we can say that segment RL is congruent to segment DQ. Yan. And then segment RG is congruent to segment DC. And last one, we have segment RLG is congruent to segment QC. Okay? Because the two congruent triangles are congruent if the corresponding parts, which are the angles and sides, are also congruent. Okay? Next. How about the parallel lines cut by a transversal? So given a parallel lines, it was cut by a transversal. Okay? So we have this parallel lines. Let's say we have line 1 and line 2, and then we have the transversal. Okay? So let's say this is angle 1, angle 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? So we have 8 angles formed by a parallel lines cut by a transversal. Angle 2 measures 60 degrees, while angle 6 is also 60 degrees. Now let's have the corresponding angles of a parallel lines cut by a transversal. When we say corresponding angles, they are non-adjacent angles on the same side of transversal, one interior, one exterior. Again, they are non-adjacent angles on the same side of transversal, one interior, one exterior. Okay, like angle 1, and angle 5. So angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. They are non-adjacent on the same side of a transversal, one exterior, one interior. Okay, another example, we have angle 3, and angle 7. Another one, we have angle 2 and angle 6, angle 2 and angle 6. And then we also have angle 4 and angle 8, angle 4 and angle 8. As you can see, angle 2 and angle 6 have the same measurement, or have the same value of an angle, have the same measure of angle, because corresponding angles, sulat natin, corresponding angles are congruent. Okay? Always remember that the corresponding angles are congruent. Okay? Next. How about linear pairs? So when I say linear pairs, they are adjacent angles that form a line, or it is two angles that when you add, the sum is equal to 180 degrees. Okay? So linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, lagyan natin. Linear pairs are supplementary angles. Okay, linear pairs are supplementary angles and they are adjacent angles. Ibig sabihin naman po magkadikit. Like angle 1 and 2, angle 1 and 2, angle 1 and 4, angle 1 and 4, angle 3 and 4, 3 and 4, angle 2 and 4. Same with this part, we also have four linear pairs, angle 5 and 6, angle 5 and 7, angle 7 and 8, we have angle 7 and 8, and angle 6 and angle 6 and 8. Okay? As you can see, they are adjacent angles, and then they form a line which is a straight angle, and it is equal to 180 degrees. Okay? Next, another one. Write ulit natin. This is transversal. Line 1 and line 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's have the vertical angles. When I say vertical angles, class, they have the same vertex but opposite in direction. Okay? These are the angles that has the same vertex but they have different direction. Okay? Like angle 1 and 4. Angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical angles. Same with angle 3 and angle 2. They are vertical angles. Then in this part, we have 5, angle 5, and angle 6. And then we also have angle 7. Correction, angle 5 and angle 8. So we have angle 5 and angle 8. And then we also have angle 7 and 6. Take note, vertical angles are congruent. So if this is 60 degrees, if the measure of angle 2 is 60 degrees, therefore the measure of angle 3 is also 60 degrees. Okay? Same with here, if angle 6 is 60 degrees, therefore angle 7 is also equal to 60 degrees. Okay? Next. How about same side interior angles? So we have the term same side. So it is same side of the transversal and then interior nasa loob. Like angle 3, and angle 5. Same with angle 4 and angle 6. Angle 3 and 5, they are same side interior. And then we have angle 4 and 6, same side interior. Remember that the same side interior angles are supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. So if we have 60 degrees here, so angle 4 will be 120 degrees. Okay? 120 plus 60, we have 180. And then if angle 3 is 60 degrees, therefore angle 5 is 120 degrees. Okay? Because the same side interior angles and exterior angles are supplementary angles. How about exterior? Ibig sabihin, nasa labas naman po. So we have angle 1 and angle 7. And then angle 2 and angle 8. 1 and 7, 2 and 8. And also, same side exterior angles are supplementary. Okay? Supplementary po siya. If we have angle 7, 60, therefore angle 1 is 120. If angle 2 is 60, therefore angle 8 is 120 degrees. So we already completed the measurements of the given parallel lines cut by a transversal. Okay? Next. How about alternate interior angles? So kanina, same side. Now we have alternate. Magkaiban po ng side. So, and it's interior, so nasa loob ng parallel lines like 5 and 6. Angle 5 and angle 6. Mali po. Angle 5, they are non-adjacent angles, class. It should be non-adjacent. So we have angle 5 and angle 4. Then we have angle 3 and angle 6. Again, same side interior and exterior are non-adjacent. Same with alternate interior, non-adjacent po sila, hindi magkatabi. Alternate interior angles, they are non-adjacent. And then interior, nasa loob po. Like 5 and 6, 3 and 6. As you can see, they are congruent angles. They are congruent angles. Okay? So we have the measure of angle 4 is 120 equal to the measure of angle 5, which is 120 degrees. Because alternate interior angles are congruent. Same with exterior. Exterior, nasa labas naman po, and it is non-adjacent. So we have angle 1 and angle 8, angle 1 and angle 8. Then we have angle 2 and angle 7, angle 2 and angle 7. So these are the alternate interior angles. So we have this 7 angles. Tama? Properties of parallel lines cut by a transversal. Corresponding angles, linear pair, vertical angles, same side interior, same side exterior, alternate interior, and alternate exterior angles. Okay? If you have some questions, grade 8, feel free to ask using our chat box, GC, comment box. If you want Gmail, sige. If you want Messenger, pwede rin. Okay? So, let me leave this quotation for you. Honesty is more than not lying. It is truth telling, truth speaking, truth living, and truth loving. I know this quotation was since first quarter is ito na yung binibigay ko sa inyo. But still, I want you class to apply this quotation, this quotes or this saying to you. Okay? So that's all grade 8. I hope you will be honest. Then you will do your best in our fourth summative test. And I believe that everyone will get a passing score or basta gawin niyo na lang siguro yung best nyo. Okay? And that's all. If you have some questions, again, feel free to ask. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye.